Consider a career choice. A man might evaluate a job offer primarily on salary, title, and career progression. A woman will certainly consider those, but she might also meticulously factor in: how will this new role impact my ability to be present for my children? Will the increased travel strain my relationship with my partner? Does this company's culture align with my values? Will the stress lead to burnout and affect my health? Is this a sustainable path for the next 5, 10 years? She's not just looking at the job, she's looking at the entire life that job enables or restricts. When she makes a choice that seems less ambitious or lucrative from an external perspective, it's often because she's prioritized a holistic vision of well-being and long-term sustainability that extends far beyond the immediate gains. It's about building a life, not just a resume. Then there's the much talked about intuition. Intuition. It's often dismissed as fluffy or irrational, but I want you to think of it as your brain's super fast, incredibly sophisticated pattern recognition system. For many women, intuition isn't a vague hunch. It's a culmination of countless subconscious observations, past experiences, and subtle cues processed at lightning speed, far too quickly for conscious thought to articulate. It's that gut feeling that tells you something isn't right about a person, or that a particular opportunity, despite looking good on paper, just doesn't feel like the right fit. Imagine meeting someone new. You might consciously note their words, their smile, but your intuitive brain is simultaneously picking up on micro-expressions, subtle shifts in tone, body language, how their words align with their actions, and comparing all of this data against every similar interaction you've ever had. If a woman says, "I just have a bad feeling about him," and can't articulate exactly why, it's not that there's no reason. It's that her supercomputer has already processed 1,000 tiny data points and flagged a potential threat or incongruence. When she then makes a decision based on this intuition, say to avoid a situation or person, it's often a highly informed, albeit non-verbalized choice. Learning to respect and trust this intuitive process, both in yourself and in her, is a powerful step towards understanding. It's not about magic, it's about evolved intelligence. Another foundational pillar often prioritized is safety and security. This isn't just about physical safety, though that's certainly a part of it. It's a much broader concept encompassing emotional security, financial stability, social acceptance, and the predictability of one's environment. When feeling unsafe or insecure, decision-making shifts dramatically for anyone. For many women, this need for security can profoundly shape choices in relationships, career, living situations, and even daily routines. Think about why a woman might meticulously plan a route before driving alone at night, or why she might be hesitant to leave a job that's unfulfilling, but offers stable income and benefits. Her decision to stay or to choose a safer option isn't necessarily a lack of ambition or courage. It's often a deeply ingrained drive to protect herself and those she cares for from potential risks. Risks that might seem minimal or non-existent to someone who hasn't experienced vulnerability in the same way. This prioritization of safety can also manifest in a preference for certainty over uncertainty, or a desire for clear boundaries and expectations in relationships. When you understand that a decision might be rooted in a fundamental need for security, even if it appears to contradict other desires, you gain immense insight. Closely related to safety, and often a source of misunderstanding, is the unspoken language and the weight of subtle cues. Many women are highly attuned to nonverbal communication, often picking up on nuances that others might miss. A slight shift in tone, a lingering glance, a moment of silence. And conversely, They often communicate their needs, desires, and even their discontent through these same subtle channels, rather than direct, explicit statements. This can be a significant source of frustration if one person is speaking direct and the other is speaking subtle. Imagine a scenario where a woman is feeling overwhelmed by household chores. Instead of explicitly saying, "I need you to help with the dishes," she might sigh heavily, leave a pile of clothes conspicuously by the laundry machine, or make a general comment about how much there is to do around here. Her decision to use indirect communication often stems from a desire to avoid confrontation, to preserve harmony, or even to test if her needs will be recognized and met without her having to ask. If her subtle cues are missed, her decision to then become withdrawn, frustrated, or to take on the task herself is a direct consequence of her communication style not being received. Understanding this requires active listening, not just to words, but to the entire symphony of communication she is conducting. It means learning to ask clarifying questions like, "It seems like you're feeling overwhelmed. Is there something I can do to help?" instead of waiting for a direct command. And speaking of feeling overwhelmed, let's talk about the invisible load and the burden of others. Many women carry an immense mental load that often goes unseen and unacknowledged. This isn't just about physical tasks. It's the constant planning, anticipating, coordinating, and emotional labor involved in managing a household, nurturing relationships, remembering birthdays, scheduling appointments, monitoring children's well-being, and often carrying the emotional temperature of a family or social group. It's an exhausting, never-ending to-do list that resides entirely in the mind. When a woman makes a decision, for example, declining an invitation, choosing a particular brand of toilet paper, or dictating how a task should be done, it's often through the filter of this invisible load. Her decision to say no to a social engagement might not be because she doesn't want to go, but because adding one more thing to her already overflowing mental plate feels like the straw that will break the camel's back. Her insistence on a particular way of doing things might stem from a desire to maintain the fragile order she has painstakingly created to keep everything running smoothly. Her decisions in these cases are often about managing her finite energy and time, protecting her mental peace and preventing chaos in the system she's responsible for. Recognizing and appreciating this invisible load is a powerful way to understand why certain choices are made and how to better support her. We also cannot overlook the profound impact of past experiences and adaptive learning. Every decision we make is in part a response to our personal history. For women who are often socialized to be more attuned to interpersonal dynamics and potential threats, past experiences can have a particularly strong influence on current choices. A previous betrayal, a hurtful comment, a feeling of being unheard or undervalued. These aren't simply forgotten. They become data points that shape future decision-making, often creating protective mechanisms. Imagine a woman who has previously been in a relationship where her opinions were consistently dismissed. In a new relationship, she might be hesitant to share her true feelings, or might make decisions that prioritize her partner's desires over her own, not because she wants to, but because her past has taught her that expressing her needs leads to negative outcomes. Her decision to hold back, to compromise excessively, or even to avoid conflict is an adaptive strategy rooted in her learned history. Understanding that some decisions are not current preferences but rather protective shields forged by past pain allows for empathy and patience, and helps create an environment where those shields can eventually be lowered. Healing and growth are often about relearning that it's safe to make different choices. Finally, and perhaps most subtly pervasive, are the societal and cultural influences that shape female decision-making. From a young age, women are often implicitly and explicitly taught a particular set of roles and expectations. To be nurturing, agreeable, beautiful, selfless. To prioritize others' needs, to maintain harmony, and to avoid being too much, too aggressive, too loud, too ambitious. While these expectations are evolving, they still exert a powerful influence, creating internal pressures that filter into every choice. Consider a woman grappling with the decision between a demanding career opportunity and her desire to start a family. While men certainly face work-life balance challenges, women often experience an additional layer of societal pressure and guilt, feeling they must choose one or the other, or risk being perceived as failing in both. Her decision to defer a career goal or, conversely, to push through and embrace a demanding role is not just a personal choice. It's a negotiation with deeply ingrained societal narratives about what a good woman or good mother or successful professional should be. These internalized roles and external expectations create a complex matrix through which every decision is filtered, often leading to choices that seem to prioritize others, or that aim to fulfill multiple, sometimes conflicting expectations. So, how do you apply this understanding? How do you master her mind, not to control, but to truly connect? It starts with a fundamental shift in perspective. Assume there is always a deeper logic, even if it's not immediately apparent to you. Don't dismiss her choices as irrational or emotional in a derogatory sense. Instead, approach them with genuine curiosity and a desire to understand the underlying motivations. First, practice deep, empathetic listening. This means listening not just to what she says, but how she says it, and what she might not be saying. Pay attention to her body language, her tone, her subtle cues. Ask open-ended questions that invite her to elaborate on her feelings and concerns, rather than just the facts. Questions like, how does that feel for you? Or, what are your concerns about that option? Or, what are you hoping to achieve with this decision, both for yourself and for us, can open up a world of insight. Second, recognize and validate her emotional data points. Instead of trying to fix or rationalize her emotions away, acknowledge them. I hear that you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by this choice. Or, it sounds like you're concerned about how this might affect X, Y, and Z. Validation creates a safe space for her to share more, allowing you to understand the why behind her feelings, which in turn reveals the why behind her decision. Remember, emotions are not the opposite of logic. They are a different form of intelligence. Third, think relationally and holistically. When she's making a decision, mentally zoom out. Who else is impacted by this? What are the potential long-term consequences, not just the short-term ones? How does this decision fit into the broader tapestry of her life, her values, her responsibilities? Often, her seemingly complex choice will make perfect sense when viewed through this interconnected lens. Offer to help shoulder the invisible load too. Even acknowledging it can be profoundly validating. Fourth, trust her intuition and ask about her past experiences. If she has a gut feeling about something, don't immediately dismiss it. Instead say, tell me more about that feeling. What is it telling you? And if a reaction seems disproportionate to the current situation, gently inquire if there's a past experience that might be influencing her perspective. Has something like this happened before? Or is there something from your past that makes this particularly challenging? This opens the door to understanding protective mechanisms and offering reassurance. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Cultivate patience and genuine respect. This isn't about finding a secret code to control her. It's about fostering a deeper, more authentic connection rooted in mutual understanding and empathy. It's about recognizing the incredible strength and wisdom in her unique approach to navigating the world. When you can see the intricate layers of thought, feeling, and experience that go into her decisions, those moments of baffling confusion will begin to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of clarity and connection. Mastering her mind, then, isn't about cracking a code. It's about learning a language of care, connection, and holistic understanding. It's about seeing the world through her eyes, walking a mile in her shoes, and appreciating the beautiful, intricate landscape of her inner world. And in doing so, you'll not only unlock a deeper understanding of her, but you'll also gain invaluable insights into yourself and the rich tapestry of human experience. This journey isn't just about understanding women. It's about becoming a more empathetic, attuned, and genuinely connected human being. And that, my friend, is a master skill worth cultivating in every facet of your life.